as of right now, it looks like Joe Biden is going to be running for re-election. He certainly seems to be moving in that direction, but I don't know, I'm looking at the polls out there and I'm wondering how much actual support there will be. Not just amongst progressives, leftists, all of that, but regular Democrats seem to be moving away from the president even just over the past few months. There's this new AP-NORC poll shows only 1 in 5 US adults actually want Biden to seek re-election. You might have seen this in the news. It's not that meaningful of a stat because of course they're including all Americans there, and every single Republican would be like, I don't want him to run again. Even though they also believe that Trump would definitely beat him. So why don't you want him to run again? It's an inconsistent thing, but whatever. More importantly, among Democrats, this is aged 45 and over, 49% say that he should run for re-election. That's dropped from 58% back in October. This is older Democrats. Less than half think the incumbent, who is a known quantity for decades in politics and passed some stuff, and the midterms didn't go all that poorly for the Democrats, they're still not necessarily buying it. And that's sort of his base. When you talk about Democrats under the age of 45, just 23% now say he should run for re-election. That number was 45% before the midterms. So even after midterms, where he sort of defied the historic trend, he has lost about half of younger Democrats in like 3 months. And it isn't just that they hate him in general. His approval rating overall is at 41%. It's unchanged from the end of last year. His overall approval rating hasn't moved that much, but there's enough nuance among savvy voters to say, like I kind of like some of the stuff, I kind of don't like some stuff, but beyond that, he shouldn't run again. That seems to be a distinction they can make. And so I'm curious, Ida, do you think that these polls being out there, more and more of these coming out, will that potentially influence some other establishment Democrats to be like, hey, Joe, you had a good run, but now it's time for someone else?
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Black people are definitely not on the list of the people who are excited. And forgive me for speaking on behalf of Black people, I'm not. I'm just advocating for the Black American who showed up at the polls and put that man in office. And when he got in office, he has been ignoring them at every turn. And I mean, every group that has had any issues has had laws passed. Asian Americans, Jewish people. You cannot talk about Jewish people. Anti-Semitic stuff comes with high consequences. The Asian American community got laws passed, and here we are watching Tyree Nichols getting beat to death. And here we are hearing about Black Americans and the Black American struggle in this country, and we have not seen. And as a person, a woman of color who is in that intersection of Blackness and Latinidad, when we look at the communities, it's very, very interesting how a group of people have been completely ignored, but are always called upon to come and rescue the day. And so I know that within the community, there are people in all the groups that are marginalized who are like, what have you done for me lately? Yeah.
I mean, how many times do they think they can go through that cycle and not eventually have it bite them on the ass?
People in America are exhausted. And I know Black people in America gotta be tired for showing up over and over again in the political process, saving the country, voting people in, voting people out. And then look what happens. It's like, it is okay to continue the dehumanization of a certain group of people and to watch them be lynched and murdered, and it become normal, a part of our day, a TikTok you can see, and nothing happened. And then you are gonna turn around and say, hey, show up for me and vote for me. Here's my Black friend, Barack Obama. People are tired. I'm a Puerto Rican woman and I'm tired of watching it. So I can only imagine, and I know that there are many people who feel that way.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna have to see what Joe does. It's possible that tonight he'll signal that he'll be running for re-election. He maybe could give some signal that he wouldn't. I think that's less likely. Even if he wasn't planning to, I don't think that he'd signal it yet. We do know that at least as of last summer, when you ask Democrats who they'd like to replace him, nearly 3/4, 72% say they don't have anyone specific in mind. And then once they start to name people, it's all similarly low percentages. 5% for Buttigieg, 4% for Newsom, 4% for Sanders, etc. Low percentages. So if he decides to step down, what we could have is a very robust field of candidates. And I think That would be a great thing for the Democrats right now. I think that is exactly what the Democrats need right now. Let DeSantis and Trump do their sideshow and make the Republican Party look like the absolute clowns and fascists that they are, and then have the Democrats provide a bunch of alternatives. I think that is a way better path forward for the party if they want to win in 2024 than allowing Biden to run again when he's already at these low numbers. Like, imagine after a year of the investigations and Hunter Biden this and Chinese balloon that. Like, I think we need to move on as a people.
Absolutely. And I will say this, I look at all of these politicians with a side eye, but I actually have to say that at least we know that our governor cares about women and their human rights and sees them as human beings that should have agency over their own bodies. And that's a very big deal right now as a woman, to feel like we don't even count. You know what I mean? I think that there are more people who are far more, I guess, more forward talking about things and confrontational about some of the things that we're dealing with, as opposed to the continuous run around, rhetoric that everybody's just tired of.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.